Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32, a podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud, and topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Friday. Catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice listed in the description below. I'm your host, I'm your GM, I'm your overseer of this podcast of Five Rings, Obsidian. And I'm speaking in staccato to introduce the resident wildcard Mal.
Yo.
The Dark Fortune Duelist meta.
Please stop.
And the wall that will not fall, Tetsuo.
Please continue like this for the rest of
No one wants to hear that.
No.
The gang's back together. We're back together after a few weeks of only three of us.
Yeah.
How's it feel for everyone to be back? And I'm looking at you, Mal.
Feels real good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel good. You don't have to. You don't have to lie.
He's contractually obligated to say it feels real good.
Just like I'm contractually obligated to tell you about our new sponsor, Dr. Pepper. No.
That'd be the best way to start off with like any sponsor thing.
Dude, I'd love some Dr. Pepper money. That's all I'm saying.
I would drink Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper.
It is one of the best sodas.
It
I
is,
don't
honestly.
like much soda, but I mean, I'll drink it if they pay me.
that is bullshit.
and now we have insight into Mal's scruples.
Mao is the kind of person who says he can't tell the difference between Pepsi or Coke, but whoever paid him last is better.
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
I like Fountain Coke and Cherry Coke, and that's about it.
Man, Cherry Coke is A+.
Well, I'm the kind of person who doesn't really care what they taste like. Whoever paid me last is the one that tastes better.
I wouldn't say that.
Because they're the most earnest. Is that how it is?
Yeah, it's whoever paid me. Whoever put a paycheck in my mail.
Oh my god. So what's everybody been doing?
Working.
You know. Yeah. I haven't. I'm looking forward to time off.
Oh yeah. In a few weeks. It's
I
coming.
got tomorrow off. I called out last Monday. I've got the whole Thanksgiving week off. I don't work a 5-day week until after Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what are you gonna do with all your time off? Just sit there.
Yeah, maybe get through some video games. Watch Clarity stream.
Wait for Monster Hunter World demo.
Yeah, just sit there and wait.
And Xenogear.
Mao just sits there for 5 days.
Xenosaga 2 after that trailer.
Yeah, or
Xenoblade.
Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Man, that thing was hot, but we're not going to talk about that. It's not one of our topics tonight.
Well, fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to talk about it, but I just won't let you.
He's the man trying to keep you down, Mao.
Gotta catch them all.
That's my job if I'm the overseer. You know, you gotta you gotta put your put your foot to the neck. Keep grinding.
I see. Got it. I know what I'm looking forward to though for this weekend is to go see Thor.
Yeah.
Or one of the two.
See both of them.
That's exactly what Lily said. She's like, we're gonna go watch both of them. I'm like, I don't know if we have the time for that.
We're gonna make time. Oh my god.
We all make time down here.
Well, you're gonna get to hear some of our thoughts on Thor in a little bit, but first, we'll get into my topic, which is, of course, today we got our first Dynasty Pack for L5R.
Oh yeah.
It is the Tears of Amaterasu, which has 20 cards. Obviously, you know by now if you've been keeping up or paying attention to L5R, 20 cards, you get 3 copies of each. Weirdly enough, some of them you can only have 1 copy of in your deck. So, I mean, if for some reason you're running 3 different line or crab decks and you just, you got to have 1 of each of those in your deck, But, I know normally...
It's probably...
Oh, go ahead, Mel. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's probably easier to just print 3 of.
Exactly. I'm sure that's what they did on the sleeves or whatever that they cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we normally talk about we usually just like especially with the spoilers, we went through every card when the articles came out. Not going to do that tonight, because one, I'm lazy, two, it'll take forever, and three, it'll take forever to edit. So instead, in no particular order, I'm going to give you my 5 top cards from Tears of Amaterasu. Not necessarily because, I mean, I won the world championship, and I'm like the ultimate authority on what L5R card is good and is not. I'm going to take some of that into account and more of like a fluff and just the way the cards are and like maybe a cool character or something like that angle. And then maybe you guys can like spout off some of your favorite cards. You might agree with me, you might disagree with me. So
all of your choices are horrible.
Yeah.
Only because you chose them.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just the most awful, horrible chooser ever.
I know, right?
I'm glad you admitted it.
Yeah, I know.
That's the first step.
So, the first card I'm going to talk about is Doji Representative. You knew there was going to be a crane in here. Doji Representative is a 3/1/3 with 2 glory, courtier, action during conflict. Move this character home. Its conflict character. I regret that I must decline your gracious invitation. And it looks like he's talking to... I don't know what clan these guys are from. They're probably Imperials or something. From the look of them. With their little black kimonos and white trim and their little hats.
You can't turn down the Imperials. They're Kuge.
Well, this guy is.
Wow. He's got balls.
He does not care about your societal norms as a doji. Very strange. There's
Very odd.
Hey, man, there's some character behind that.
Right? It is.
Yeah. Okay, so I like his ability. I like that you can aggressively defend with him. 1/3 for 3 is kind of but at least he has 1 military skill. Like, I'm surprised he doesn't have like a 0 personally, but it's cool that he can at least go to military conflicts. He's a courtier, so you care about cards like for shame or outwit, or if you splash Scorpion in your crane deck. It's always nice to have more courtiers. A lot of things that the crane community is complaining about, like Hotaru's in a courtier. We need more courtiers to do courtier-y stuff, so we got another courtier. And I just like, this is a very classic like crane courtier kind of ability from the old game. You would do an effect and then move your courtiers home so they didn't get range attack to death or get killed or do other stuff. And you do just enough to save your province. So this feels very old school crane to me. So that's why it's in my top 5. I don't know what you guys think about the card.
Actually, I actually think it's a pretty decent card. The more I think on it, the ability to just send somebody home, especially yourself home, is really potent in this game.
Yep, because if they're ready, you can attack with them. So they were in 2 conflicts in 1 turn. It's always good to have more versality, and you need that, especially out of a 3-costed character.
It actually plays off very potently with one of the conflict cards from the Hida, or not from the Hida, the Crab, and I believe it's the one where you can get honor from an opponent every time that they utilize a card from hand.
Or they lose an honor.
Yes. Yeah, that's the card. The fact that you can bring that character then back in with that card is pretty potent.
Yep. So then you swing with them, and you just get more and more mileage out of it. It's really nice. Really cool ability. And the art's not bad. It's not the best art in the set, but, you get your Imperious-looking crane courtier.
They can't all be winners.
With his fan. Exactly. Only mostly. But they're crane. They're supposed to be so beautiful in art,
That's true.
How dare there be a dud? That's not a dud. Alright, next card that I really like in this set is Goblin Sneak. I think he's, correct me if I'm wrong, a 2 for 1/1. He's a Goblin Shadowlands. And when you put him into play, you get to take a fate from your opponent's fate pool and put it onto him. Yeah, I think he's a 2. I'm pretty sure he's a 2. So, yeah, just a really neat effect. Very sneaky. You kind of need to know what your opponent has. Like, if you're playing against Phoenix, you should know that Display of Power is a 2-cost thing. So if your opponent's holding back 2 fate going into the conflict phase, you can drop this guy pre-conflict and ruin their chances of turning tables on you on the defense when they lose the conflict. Or stuff like Scorpion, who has the 3 fate cost. Or the 3 fate cost ambush card, stuff like that is that you can play around, and it surprisingly works really well in Scorpion with the new Meek Informant card that lets you look at your opponent's hand when he comes into play. So you kind of know what you're dealing with, and you'll know if you're going to get more value. He can obviously be assassinated pretty easily, but when he comes into play, you get to sap that fate, and that's the best ability on the card. And he's just a goblin. He's a goblin Shadow. He's our first Shadowlands card that we get, so he has to be on the list.
And who doesn't love goblins?
And
I know,
and
right?
He's got a cute little art too.
I think what I like actually most about the fact is that like he says he's a 2 cost, but technically he's
a 1
in a
unless
certain-
you don't hit any
yeah.
fate.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. He's technically a 1 cost because you're getting you're essentially forcing your opponent to kind of pay for his longevity onto the field. So sure, it'll cost you 2, but your opponent's gonna end up paying 1 for it as well.
Yep. I love ways in this game that you can manipulate it with fate
Yeah.
pools, and that's kind of the cool thing about the set is it gives you a lot of ways to manipulate with both your fate pool and your opponent's. So
And the best part is that you can actually, because he's conflict, you can bring him in at about any time you want. And if like your opponent says wins like a fight or something, and then they have some fate because they got that ring, you know, because they shot at that ring and they take that fate off of it, you could throw him right down in there. He's going to take one of the fate right off them.
exactly.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, he's a cute little card. Like, most people, I don't know if most people would at this point, but like early on I could have seen people being like, he's only 1 skill, but man, it's so easy to get military pump in this game that he can
actually
still potentially solo provinces.
Yeah, he can ping off of Bonsai, so
Yeah, he can give him some fine katanas.
Yep.
Let him do some work.
He can definitely do work, so he's not a bad card. But I mean, in and of it itself, if your opponent's not really worrying about their fate, or it's just very clear that the deck they've built is very efficient, so trying to like slap them out of fate isn't going to do much, then he's probably not a card you would want at that point. But I mean,
It becomes less impactful like in all stages of the game.
yeah.
So he
Definitely
becomes
go to
more
the beginning.
mid-gamey at that point.
Yep. Definitely good beginning. Definitely good against players or decks that you know are going to have high cost abilities, but later on in the game and just in general against anybody who's more of an efficient player who doesn't play heavy costs.
Oh, I see you like to go second to get that extra fate. Your fate is mine now. So sneaky little goblin.
Sneaky.
All right. Next card that is on my top 5 cards of the set is Staunch Cheetah, who is a 2 Bushi Ojimbo, 1 Glory. I don't remember if it's a conflict character or not. No, it's a dynasty. After this character wins a conflict as a defender, resolve the ring effect of that conflict as if you were the attacking player, max once per conflict. And the article they released about the set today talked about if you use the Crab Clan specific province that lets you do the same thing, you do get to trigger the ring twice with this card. So that can be brutal if your opponent walks right into it. Now obviously you're going to have this character on the board. It's a dynasty character. They're going to kind of like see that you can defend and maybe turn the ring against you, but as a crab player you're still forcing them to spend more resources beating your defense at least. So the dash kind of sucks. Again, she's 2 cost. She is vulnerable to assassinate, but I mean she's a threat on the board that oftentimes has to be dealt with. And come on, look at that art. You get your nice smug like Hida chick looking down on her students, basically. So
I
Probably
like
my
her.
favorite card.
what's your favorite, Mel?
Yeah.
I definitely like her.
And it's cool to see some aggressive defensive cards too.
It is. It's nice. I'm a little iffy on her. I really like her as the idea, and the fact that she's got that kind of reaction is really potent. I mean, just the ability to utilize a ring if you're the defender is
They
awesome.
also have this on a province or holding.
Yes.
Yeah, on a province. The crab
Which can
clan
make it
province.
very nasty.
Yeah,
But she requires that you win the conflict,
yes.
which is a pretty strong condition, to be fair. And
Well, the crab do it
That's-
well. They
Crab do
defend
well, but unfortunately, she can't even show up at a political fight. So she's only going to be at one type of fight in any battle.
Yeah.
you're actually kind of, it's in a way you're almost forced to play her in the one time that you're going to be able to play her if you want to use her reaction. Otherwise, she's just a stat stick.
Yeah, I think she'll see some play though in crab decks.
If somebody wants to play defensive crab deck, I would love to see somebody just play full D.
If they got a holding like that unicorn one, then
Yeah,
they could do some serious dishonor strategy. So
I would honestly love to see a dishonor crab just because it
you
feels.
can do it because Nick Cage.
interesting. Nick Cage.
I still want to see a good crab scorpion dishonor.
Yeah, it's a viable thing.
I might actually do that for
Someone-
the stream.
Yeah, someone
just
in
make
my
a crab
meta
scorpion.
runs crab dishonor in my environment, so
Yeah, I assume it'll only get better as more Yusuke come out.
yep.
Yeah.
Get that Taka.
Oh yeah.
Okay, my other card, technically the fourth card, this top 5 is Isawa Kaede. She is a 5-cost 3/4. She gains a void, 3 glory. She's immune to opponent's ring effects. After this character is while this character is attacking, the contested ring gains the void element. This character wins the conflict as an attacker. Instead of choosing an element to resolve each of that ring's effects. So
He can do no wrong.
and that art. Man, 5 for 3/4 and 3 glory's good already. Something Phoenix are really weak to is just someone going before them and going after fire constantly so they can't honor their characters, and theirs get dishonored.
Yeah.
Because Phoenix don't have a really big pull other than Magnificent Kimono and the Firing and the one Pride character to honor their characters. So, being immune to ring effects just means it's hard for her to be dishonored unless you're playing against a Scorpion player. And you always get the void element, so you always get kind of an economic advantage over your opponent. Unless they just don't put any void on their characters.
She can do no wrong, Obs.
And in
No
that way,
wrong.
she affects the board state. The only thing I don't like about her is that she's a 5-cost and that Sukune is also very good. But I like what the Phoenix are getting with, like, the multiple ring effects and stuff like that.
she's needed though. Like the problem that we obviously saw with like Phoenix right now is that they're split between Bushi, Courtier, and
Yeah.
Shugenja.
They're a little bit spread thin.
Maybe once they finally get the support with these new packs that are coming out, and we can finally get like full on like Bushi theme, Shugenja or Courtier theme for Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
then you can finally choose your 5s. But right now, she's almost kind of needed to get more Shugenja in that deck so that they can utilize more Shugenja cards without just sitting on them. Because that was the problem that Lily did face a fair amount when she plays, is that she just tends to sit on some cards because she doesn't have a character out for that type yet.
Yep, that's a big problem with Phoenix, because they want to have Bushi and Shugenja, and not as much Bushi, but more Shugenja and Courtier.
I like her overall though. The fact that you're immune to your opponent's rings effects, she can't be bowed, she can't be dishonored,
Can't
she
take
be
fade off of her.
voided. Yeah, you can't like do anything.
Yeah,
to
your opponent's
her.
like, I guess I'll do the Earth Ring.
Yeah, right. And then the best part is if she's attacking, it gains void element. You mean like you could go after fire, honor somebody. Oh, I'm gonna ping you as well. That's just it's so solid.
Yep, Void is one of the best rings, so.
And God help you if she does get honored.
Yep, and she's an old character with lots of history and lore from the Clan War. She's got really good art, new art in the game. Excited to see her. I liked her story in the old game. Interested to see where it goes in this one. And the last card I'm going to talk about is Embrace the Void, which I believe was one of our preview cards. Embrace the Void is a 0-cost attachment, 0/0 to spell Void. Play only if you control a Shugenja character. Interrupt when one or more fate would be removed from attached character. Instead, move that fate to your fate pool. And it is a 2 influence card. So you can put it on your opponent's characters. You can put it on your characters. And when the fate comes off, you get more. Just more fate pool manipulation. I really like the art on this card a lot. You get the little starry view in the dead samurai's eye as he's like dying. So like the themes there that I like, the art's there that I like. It's more spells. It's a void spell. It's more good stuff for Phoenix. Even Crane and Scorpion, who splash Phoenix, will probably put it into their decks just because it's a good card. There's stuff obviously like Attachment Hate, like Let Go, and I believe Forged Edict and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That can, not Forged Edict, but the Scorpion card that will steal your attachment. I mean, there's even the holding. I believe, I think it's a holding that lets you steal an attachment. It's the crab one, but it's only a one of. So, I mean, there's ways to like get around it, but as long as you get like a fade out of it, you're going to be pretty happy because it is a 0 cost. So
it's a very nice card. The only limiting factor is that obviously it has to be from the attached character, but I mean, you can almost force an opponent to kind of go after that if you've got a good character out. If you've got Sukune, you can get this onto her. Or no, you can't actually. She can't use it. Yeah, oh, damn it. That does limit it. Oof.
No, you can put it on any character. You just have to have a Shugenshin play to cast the spell.
You just have to, well, only if you control. Oh, yeah, right.
It triggers when it triggers during the Fate phase when Fate leaves your character. It's attached to as well. So
that's true.
You're just getting all that Fate back.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, for free.
Oh.
It screams. I like it almost more as like a bait out to get let go'd. Sometimes.
Yeah, I actually think that's kind of the thing. Is like it really is a bait for let go.
So I mean, it has lots of subtle little uses. It's a really cool, well-designed card. And I think it fits the theme of the set, which is a lot of economy manipulation. There's lots of ways to get more cards, to get more fate, to keep your opponent from spending fate in their fate pool, to take fate from your opponent, to get your fate back. There's lots of economic stuff, and the set design-wise is pretty good.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see like Phoenix go into that realm where they really are more of a fate economy style. And I mean,
that's how you play the Dishonor version of the deck. That's how you play it.
That's my point. So like, if you're already going to play the Dishonor version like that, it would be just interesting to see that that's a relative theme that you can attach to the Phoenix and play them with an idea that they're going to have fate economy and they're going to generally control fate economy.
Yep.
Which makes sense because they're Shugenja and they're always spiritual and they're seeing the future and the past and blah blah blah.
The destinies of those who are with them have come before them and will go
looking
after
to the stars for the future.
Exactly.
Definitely my favorite art of the set.
Yeah,
definitely good art.
It's great.
Someone who rolled a natural 20 on the perception check.
Whoa, man! I can see the stars. It's the last thing I freaking see.
The future.
All right, so Mal, you said Staunchido is your favorite card.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Embrace the Void, probably. It's that and or Goblet Sneak.
Everything else sucks.
I really like the Unicorn card gets honorable mention. I just wish the province that lets you destroy it to both of you get 2 fate or 2 honor. I really like that for honor running. I just don't know how well Unicorn are going to be able to honor run. I wish that was a card that everyone could use. Or at least Crane in line. So, I mean. But.
Yeah. Hopefully. They definitely need some help, Unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely do.
The guy made the cut at Worlds, which was nice to see. I think Crab didn't, but that was because all the Crab players decided they wanted to, like, go play Netrunner, basically. That's what I heard, the ones that were in contention for the cut. And then, I think one of the line player who was, number 1 in Swiss was like, I'm going to go drink. So he just, stopped playing, I think. So they say. So, I don't know. I'm excited to play with these this weekend some. I'm excited to see how people in my local environment use them. I'm excited to see what decks people online start brewing up. And things are just going to keep changing every week because we're getting 6 packs in 6 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Can I just give an honorable mention to Gifted Tactician? That's a really scary
he's
card.
right in my line deck. Right in. Get out of here, Death Seeker.
I was gonna say that card feels like that's just a mandatory card to throw in for a Lion.
Lion like to go after your opponent's cards already. I've seen the guy who won Worlds was playing Spies at Court, which a lot of people thought was one of the worst cards in the base set.
Spies at Court?
Yeah, where you have to win a political conflict and then you discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand at random. You might also have to have a Courtier. I don't think you do, though.
That's a pretty scary card.
Lots of people bid 5 pretty aggressively, so they just have lots of cards. It's much better late game, but Lion have actually, a lot of players prioritize Earth Ring as Lion a lot. They like to go after Earth and Water and Fire. So attacking your opponent's hand has been, and getting card advantage has been a lot of way Lion people have been playing. So he fits that theme very well. Like I've seen the line deck at Worlds, and lots of line people are starting to run Spaza Court in their deck. So
See, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna eventually turn into just card advantage for the hand. That's
yeah,
so potent.
it's just hard for them to win a political conflict, in my opinion. But hey, man,
Yeah.
I guess that's what Kitsu Spirit Card's for. So
hey,
card
you know
is
what?
nuts. So
I'm telling you, that's why I love the fact that the Crane are Seekers now, because there just means more cards for me for card draw, baby. Oh,
more fate too.
oh yeah.
'Cause you
I
can
can
run-
bid low.
Run
for
double
my
air
honor.
provinces. Let them run into your air provinces.
Yep.
Get more
Yep.
fate.
Yep.
That was
Get
the
my-
goal when they went second. They wanted Keeper of Fire, and they didn't get it because Line took it. So the next best thing was Seeker of Air, and it keeps Scorpion from getting it. Seeker of Air is the best thing for Scorpion, so arguably.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. It's Tears of Amaterasu. Again, I'm excited to play it. Excited to see more new cards. The set's not like super strong, but it's going to be hard to judge every set is strong when every clan only gets 2 cards. So
Yeah. I would say I think overall the set does exactly what it should do, though, and that is make sure that people are getting better support and cards that can help either push them into a better spot for the themes that are going to be applied to their deck, or giving them something that can help kind of give them a leg up where it needs to be.
yeah. Will Unicorn ever get the help they need? I actually like their character in this one too. I think characters with fate can't use their abilities or something, or don't contribute force if you spend a fate, something like that. I can't remember her exact ability, but
When they're attacking each other character that has one or more fate on it, does not count its skill towards the resolution
that can
of this
be
contest.
That's nasty.
that can be
Swift Magistrate.
that can be stupid against Dragon.
Very stupid.
So, but anyways, let's get on to our next topic, which is you, Mal. What do you got for us?
I went and saw Thor.
I saw it too.
Yeah, the 17th movie in the Marvel.
It feels like it's been
universe.
more than 17 movies.
Really? Yeah.
It does to me.
Like 17 already?
Right? They're really the only ones doing the franchise like this well, I think.
Now we get Justice League in 10 days. Oh no.
Yeah.
Or however,
no.
like a week or 2 weeks from now.
What was it? The Dark Universe that the Mummy was going to be a part of is dropping out.
Thank
We're not going to do a
God.
franchise, actually.
The Mummy was one of the worst blockbuster movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I just didn't go see it.
Really?
What?
I didn't see it either. I saw it later on, but I didn't go to the theater and see it.
Yeah. But, so this is the third Thor movie, directed by Taika Waititi.
Who did that vampire movie? That it's like a weird mockumentary movie about vampires.
What is it called?
Something in the shadows or something like
Yeah.
that.
In the shadow, something.
I mean, that pretty much describes vampires, right?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done Hunt for Wilder People. I don't think I've seen any of his movies before.
I haven't seen them. I just heard of the one about vampires
Yeah.
a few years ago.
He wrote the initial screenplay for Moana,
Did he really?
No
Yeah.
way.
but they changed a bunch, I believe.
Obviously, they always do.
And he was in this movie.
Yep, as Korg?
The blue
Korg.
blue thing, as I like to call him.
Oh, I was gonna say he's not really blue. He's a rock guy, but yeah. He's a Kiwi, so he's got New Zealand accent.
Yep.
Which was weird to hear coming out of the rock guy. I thought it was a pretty great movie.
It's good. It's the best Thor. Easy.
Oh, easily.
Really?
It's,
Oh,
de-
shit,
it's
this
definitely
makes me
in one of my top 5 Marvel movies too.
Yeah,
It does.
it's definitely up there.
Yeah, because one thing Mal and I were talking about is that we liked it was the very like nostalgic '80s kind of feel in the trailer and stuff, and the movie captures that very well with the music and the score.
Well, he's a comedy director basically. Like,
And this movie is a comedy movie.
yeah,
It's comedy action, not action comedy.
right. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Just there's so much that I loved about it. First thing I loved was the immigrant song use,
Oh yeah,
which they used in the trailer and then in the movie.
and it was in the score too. You could hear hints of
Yeah.
it, like little motifs.
It was so appropriate.
You know, the score was done by the guy who
Devo.
was in Devo, yeah.
Yep. And he did what, Rugrats,
Mhm.
a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, because the Immigrant Song's about Vikings, basically.
Yeah.
So it just worked. And apparently Led Zeppelin songs are usually about 7 figures to the license.
Disney's got the money to sling around to do
Yeah.
it.
Taika, his initial pitch to Marvel included that song. And they're all like,
Gotta have
yeah,
Immigrant
we
Song.
should really get that.
All right, so explain to someone who might have not seen Thor yet, like Meta, who might go see it this weekend. What is Thor about? What's like the general brief synopsis of Ragnarok?
Well,
Thor is about a man who named Thor.
Can you believe we have 3 Thor movies, first off?
they're all different, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. That's the weird part.
And so Taika Waititi is basically like the main thing from this movie, because the reason why it's so good, I think, because it's written by the same people who have done 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the writers are all the same for the Thor movies. The director just really brought out everything out. Or like
I think
all
there was
the
lots of
comedy and
improv
whatnot.
in this too.
Yes, he said he improved a whole hell. All of his lines were improv,
Yeah.
and almost all the stuff between Thor and the Hulk. But yeah, so
Wait, seriously?
yep, or
I-
he wanted it to be, but able to be. He got improv for all of it. I don't remember how much was used. I know there were certain scenes that he said were 100% improv.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I love improv.
He found out that Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and Jeff Goldblum were really good improv. But yeah. So you've got Thor, who was absent from Civil War because he had been given visions of Ragnarok in the Age of Ultron movie.
He's going around looking for Infinity Stones.
Well, yeah.
Basically, was what he was doing.
He was
wasn't
going around looking for a way to stop Ragnarok, right?
I thought he was looking for the stones in the gauntlet. I saw like visions of both of them. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it begins in Medea's Rest kind of thing.
Yeah. It begins in a very 80s way.
Yeah.
But and he gets wrapped up in stuff leading up to Ragnarok. His sister shows up because it's Marvel Comics. Hela is his sister,
The goddess of death,
right? Played by Cate Blanchett.
who's really hot in this movie.
I don't know these people.
She is a Gladriel from Lord of the Rings.
I still don't know this woman.
Okay. You
but-
might know her when you see her.
I probably will.
Have you not seen Lord of the Rings?
No, I have not.
Oh my god, Meta.
This is always the dreadful question I have to answer. To
Is
like
this the
anybody
dark
who's
secret
into-
you've been hiding for
This
so
is my
long?
dark
I-
secret.
This
My
is like
nerdum.
saying you've never seen Star Wars.
What's Star Wars?
I've never seen the originals, so
God,
I don't judge you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, she's good in it.
Yeah,
All the acting's really good.
yeah.
The comedy stuff is great. All the improv stuff is good. Jeff Goldblum was amazing in this. He's
the
like
most
the best
Jeff
part of the
Goldblum
movie.
he's ever been.
he was hilarious.
Oh yeah, as the Grand Master.
Yeah, you got lots of good action. Good action too. The Hulk stuff was surprisingly had a surprising amount of pathos to it. Some of his scenes when he got to his more emotional stuff
Yeah.
that I won't spoil.
Honestly, the stuff going on Asgard is probably my least.
Yeah, that's what
favorite about the
everyone's
movie.
been saying
Yeah.
pretty much.
Everything off of it, like up until the end, like it's just so good.
The problem with it is it's just jarring because you're off
Yeah.
completely over here, and then you will cut back to Asgard for like a few minutes,
And it's kind
then
of
it goes back.
got a different tonal shift because like
Yeah,
the stuff on Asgard almost feels too serious for the movie.
it's more like
At
the
times,
old
like-
Thor movie stuff,
Yeah.
kind of.
But yeah, from the trailers you can see like Thor gets captured. He has to fight the Hulk, and stuff happens from there.
he gets captured by Jeff Goldblum, he's basically fights an arena for Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
He gets captured by a bounty hunter-esque kind of woman who captures fighters and vagrants who happen up on this planet. That's like kind of portholes going, or like wormholes going every which way out from it.
I don't know if you know anything about the Marvel Comics, but they use I think it's Planet Hulk is what the planet was originally from, Sakaar.
Yeah, it's they apparently pulled a lot of inspiration from that. I've never read Planet Hulk, but
neither have I. But so they just end up using, or they have Sakaar, which is the planet the Hulk ended up on, and in the comics he takes over the planet.
Mm-hmm. Does it still have?
I think there's an animated video. Animated.
Yeah, I believe they do. Planet Hulk is a video. He gets a wife and has a kid, and
oh, weird.
He has a whole life. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Is he just Hulk the whole time?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, sort of like how, in this movie, there's a lot of the Hulk, and they had to redo the entire CG for the Hulk in this one.
Really?
Yeah, because before he'd only ever had one line in all of the or all of the other.
Oh, so they didn't like do a lot with his mouth or face.
Yeah, they never really had a talking Hulk before, so they had to redo it all.
And
they actually did a lot of interesting technical stuff I was reading up on, like Kate Blanchett's costume is mostly CGI.
Oh, really? It looked really like, other than the hair piece thing or whatever, it looked like real. Yeah,
but they didn't really want to just have her in a normal mocap suit.
Yeah,
I think they were, I don't know, ashamed of it or something, because like it's just a gray spandex suit with ping pong balls, and they didn't give it to the Oscar-winning actress or whatever. So they made a hybrid suit that I guess looked somewhat like what she wears, but they made the mocap sensors as small as they could, and they look kind of like little tiny hockey pucks, and they embedded it in the suit.
Okay,
and
that's neat.
They also set up and then another part is they didn't want like people to shoot a scene and then tell like Mark or Kate to go off to the mocap area and they have to redo their scene, so you like lose like that, you won't get the same performance.
Yeah, so
they built in the mocap cameras into the scene so that they could cover them up when they weren't being used, but they could then like they could remove the panel.
Dude,
so all the mocap happened on the scene, and then they would just blank out the panels. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm wondering if
this is all Taika's ideas too, because he wanted to shoot it very indie style.
It's almost interesting that you said like they did a kind of almost a quasi mock-up of the actual like final product. And I'm wondering if that might have been helping the reason to why it looked so potentially realistic to you, Abs. I'm wondering if that might be the reason, because it would mean that they don't have to literally create full CGI on somebody. It would mean that they could actually layer it off of what is already there.
Yeah, I don't know how much was incorporated into the mocap suit, but yeah, they said it was.
Yeah, I don't
pretty
know.
Interesting.
Maybe I could be totally wrong. It's completely CGI'd over, but.
So yeah, they because he said the biggest pain about working on a full-size thing was because he likes to improv his shots so much. He'd be like, I want to get it from another angle. Then they have to wait, like, because they have to move hundreds of people and use cranes to move the gear around just to shoot from another angle. So, and it was because it's a lot longer than I think the shooting days was around 85 days was the shot time, and he's used to like 30 days.
That's still like really short though.
Yeah.
But another like criticism I've seen a lot of people make was Hela's character, but I thought she was she's not the Vulture, but she's not as
That's
everyone's like she's as bad as the other Marvel villains. I was like, she's not like super better, great, but she's better, and you get to see Kate Blanchett like ham it up, completely ham it up.
She definitely she was not like as bad as some of the other Marvel villains.
No,
she was not nearly as stilted as Rohan or Ronan, whatever the Guardians 1 guy was.
That guy he's one of the worst ones.
Yeah,
I think it's more. I think she more suffers just because of the Asgard stuff. I don't think it's anything with her character in particular.
And like, there's what's his face's character,
Heimdall, is that
Carl Urban?
Oh yeah,
His
two Lord of the
character's
Rings
this-
characters.
Yeah, and then Idris Elba. I don't think we got enough of him, honestly.
Yeah, I like Heimdall a lot in the movies.
Yeah. There's also a scene that he said, I guess some of his friends had came up with this technology to shoot. I think it's briefly in one of the trailers, like you see, like, you know, the women on winged horses slowly going down.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they set up a ring of strobe lights and then use a very a camera that shoots at 1200 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives it a very surreal, dreamlike appearance.
Yeah,
that
it
had
definitely
never been
looks
used before.
different in that scene a lot.
Yeah, it's the first. Apparently, it's the first time they've used that, because I guess normally for like bullet time stuff, you use like a ring of 50 cameras or something.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so this was the first time that was used, I guess, in
Yeah.
cinematic stuff like that.
Yeah, cinematography wise, the movie's like really good. Really,
yeah, very
really,
80s
really good.
vibe.
Yeah.
Like, for Marvel usually is criticized for their blah color palette. This one really popped.
Yeah, like very like uninterestingly shot movies generally, but this one
And
is
like the score is usually pretty bad, but this one they rocked it with all the. I love synth music though, so
Yeah,
just give
I'm
it
the-
all.
I'm
all
the
the
same.
synth music.
I'm the exact same. But I mean, yeah, it's top 5, man. Top 5 for me pretty easily. Do we have any other Marvel movies this year? I don't think we do.
The next one's Black Panther, which is next year,
February,
something like that.
and then it's Infinity Wars in May or June
Maybe.
or something. I don't know. Yeah. You need to go see it, Meta. It's
Oh yeah.
it's really good.
I'm ready for it.
Just go see it and this.
I already told Lily that apparently it's the best one out of all of them. I was like, I'm ready. I think to myself, like, the moment people start saying that one of the sequels is better than the original, it's worth seeing because
Yeah.
that's really rare.
I also loved that there was a lot of comedy, but all of the people kind of had their own style of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they aren't all using the same kind of jokes. They all, like, each character, you know, is funny in their own way.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
something like, because
I love
I don't
Thor
wanna give it away,
too.
but-
I love his fish out of water style of like humor. I love how
Right.
goofy he is. He's like
really-
my favorite.
yeah,
Marvel. He's my favorite, like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, probably, which is really weird. No one ever probably says that, but I just like how funny he is.
Yes, I love that fish out of water stuff. He's toned down the sheer arrogance, like as his character is just, you know, the arc that he's gone through.
Yep,
Yeah.
So he's just so enjoyable. The
and
movie,
it has a payoff.
even aside from just being funny, the movie is just fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very delightful. Go watch it. It's really good.
I shall.
I don't know what more I can say about it. It's good.
Everyone loves the director's character. He actually, he's one of the things I didn't care for as much as nearly everyone else on the
I just
internet.
thought he was fun.
Yeah,
He's fun. I like the little
I
bug
think he
guy.
was
he
a
has.
little overused for my taste. but
Yeah, for
I'm
being like a
very
side
in the
character.
minority.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything not great. I know some people have criticized they thought like for the tone, like the story or whatever should be a lot more serious. And
Mhm.
like I've just seen some people questioning if superhero stuff should be, you know, more serious or more silly.
Yeah, but then you end up with
Yeah, the Justice or
then you
Superman
end up
versus
with
Batman.
Batman versus Superman, which is
Supposedly
hours
the
of
Justice
misery.
League is more in line with not that.
yeah.
More like Wonder Woman and stuff.
I'm sure tonally it'll be a lot better, but it's
Yeah.
when you still look at the trailer and everything's brown and gray and
Yes.
depressing looking. Oh my god, that's gonna be. I'm gonna go see it and I'm gonna be freaking miserable.
But yeah. So yeah, this movie was 2 hours, and I just felt like it flew by. For
It
me.
did. It did, man. It was I went and saw it at 10:30, I think was the showtime. we went to the theater with like the reclining chairs. I was like, oh god, I'm gonna fall asleep during this, but I was not threatened with sleep at all. And I was a tired little man last week after recording our episode. So
yeah,
yep.
I don't. Yeah, it's probably my top 5. I haven't really run the numbers, but it's definitely up there. I mean, I love it more than the other 2 Thors.
Yeah, it's the best Thor. It's up there. Like my top 5, just if I'm gonna like shoot something off for the MCU, is like Winter Soldier, this, Guardians 1, Avengers 1, and I don't know the last one. That's just off the top of the head.
Those are pretty great. And then Iron Man 1 probably for me. Another one that was mostly improv.
I'm like the weird one who likes Iron Man 3 more than the other 2.
Oh wow.
Oh, man.
I'm like the only man who exists that has that opinion. But
I mean, I love all the Iron Mans, but one's definitely my favorite.
So there you go.
It basically kicked off all of this whole cinematic universe.
It did, and it deserves credit for that, if nothing else. Like, I don't even really want to do Civil War. It's tough. Maybe Doctor Strange. I really like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and I also, honestly, I'd probably put, I don't know, Spider-Man's probably up on my list. But
Yeah,
I love
it's good.
all things 80s, basic callbacks and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another part of why this one is great. It's like basically the side of a van, the movie. Like one of those, those paintings on the old vans.
There's no better way to describe this movie. Go. Now, the question for Meta is, do you want to like have lots of fun or be kind of like startled a lot? Which one do you want to see first, this or it? You want to leave happy?
This is a cool down.
Honestly,
That's what I was going to say.
I actually kind of want to see Thor first.
Okay.
Partly because of what I've been watching in the meantime, which I mean, I guess is definitely something to talk about later on. But I could definitely use for a little bit more comedy, considering some of the serious stuff I've been watching now.
Been watching all those Halloween movies.
All of them, just every single one. My Halloween stream continues.
Yeah. Oh my god! All right, Tets, what do you got for us tonight?
Kind of piggybacking off of with the Thor movie, because I'm way far behind in the MCU right now. I haven't even seen Ant-Man yet.
Oh wow, you're really far behind
on the timeline. Yeah, although I did see Civil War, so I kind of hopped. Part of it is because I don't go see movies in theaters, but
I mean, this one's very removed from what else is going on. If you've seen Civil War, this is basically right after Civil War for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, I was just gonna say that I think one of the things that's so fun about the Marvel movies is everybody will agree with this statement that when you start seeing some of the more obscure characters that start to pop up, and I think we're kind of at the point now with movies where we are starting to popularize comic book characters that weren't so popular.
Oh yeah. The Guardians was a really good example.
Yep.
Exactly. Deadpool to a degree as well.
Mm.
I know that's outside of MCU, but so I wanted to ask you guys who your favorite obscure characters are that you would like to see brought more into mainstream attention. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like really, really obscure. It might be some that's kind of familiar to people. Like for me, my favorite is the Justice League Dark splinter group of the Justice League, specifically Zatanna and Swamp Man.
Oh, I love Constantine.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah, Swamp Thing.
Constantine's the one everybody likes.
Right. He actually had a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a movie with Keanu Reeves. No.
Well, yeah.
Right.
It was, but it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I love that movie.
I like that. I like them, but just because they get to deal with like all the magic stuff and the weird things
Exactly.
that go on.
And I mean, like, Doctor Strange kind of tries to do the same with the MCU, and I guess he does kind of accomplish that.
Well, yeah, he's the main magic guy in the whole Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like DC, like, magic is more I mean, not really, but kind of. And so, like,
More
I
what?
like prevalent.
Oh.
It feels like it's more like there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Or not MCU, but Marvel in general kind of explains away a lot of magic. Like, there's still characters that are definitely magical, and magic's still there. But it feels like they're less prominent than in DC. But I like the fact that because of that, DC has its own splintered group of a team that deals with that. And again, Marvel does as well. But because it's more pervasive in DC, I like that team more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know. What do you got, Mal? What's yours?
I would have used to have said The Runaways, but they've got a show coming out in less than 2 weeks.
What's the show? Is it actually on TV? Like
Hulu.
TV? Okay.
It's a Hulu exclusive.
Hulu?
Really?
Yeah.
That you can now watch on your Nintendo Switch, people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's an update today or something.
The Runaways that are Marvel, aren't they?
Yes, they are Marvel. It is, though they are West Coast Marvel, and the comics actually explain why you don't usually see so many other people or Marvel people on the West Coast. It is about a group of teen-ish or younger, children, and they find out their parents are evil, and they run away. The show has gotten, decent reviews, I guess. It's definitely going to be like, I don't know, like young adult style show, or like it's kind of a mystery as well, which is interesting. With I guess take it. Think if I haven't. I also love Miss Marvel, the new one, or the newer one, I guess, because the original got upgraded to Captain Marvel, who I guess was sort of obscure, but more obscure. I don't know. Not with probably actual comic readers, but she's getting her movie in a few years, next 19 maybe. But Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, and I love all the Inhuman stuff, though they just got a show, and it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also really love Spider-Gwen.
A lot of people do like
because-
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I love her because her comic is all like neon colors and stuff. It's very colorful, and I just love the art style. First, she's from Earth 65, I believe. And she's just in her universe. Gwen Stacy gets bit by a spider, and Peter Parker is the Lizard, I think, in that one, and then he dies, I think, or something. I can't remember exactly. I'm really behind on all my comics, but I just love the art style of it. I like all the Spider-Verse stuff pretty much. Noir Spider-Man's pretty great. He's from like his Spider universe is like in the 50s, I guess, or whatever, because it's all noir based, and like the magician villain, I cannot remember, Mysterio maybe, is like a stage magician.
Sounds right.
And he has a revolver. He's basically wearing like a big black trench coat with a black and a black baklava or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have quite the hang up that like normal Spider-Man does about killing people. And then Silk is pretty great. She likes Pokemon.
I was expecting you as for some reason I was expecting you to drop Squirrel Girl.
No, I've not read any Squirrel Girl.
I haven't either.
But Silk was bit by the same spider as Peter Parker, and then was locked for like 10 years in some underground bunker. And she's like fighting some guy, and he's like, "You look like a Pokemon. Is Pokemon still a thing?" Yeah, there's later references in the comics about Pokemon. Yeah, it's just pretty great. I like her.
What about you, Meta?
All right, my favorite would have to be, when it comes to the small time guys, the Heckler.
I don't know who the Heckler is.
The Heckler is a superhero is a superhero parody that was published by DC Comics. And he's quite literally a superhero that has no powers beyond quick wit and a daring attitude. He quite literally would utilize his smart aleck comic remarks and the like to defeat his opponents, kind of like the way a cartoon character Bugs Bunny did.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy the idea of that there's this superhero going around and all he's doing is heckling you the whole time as you're trying to get your dastardly like deed off the ground here.
What's the bardic ability?
Cutting
Vicious
words,
Yeah.
vicious mockery,
Vicious
or cutting
mockery.
words.
That's
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's exactly
That's exactly what he is. He's just vicious mockerying you the whole time. The idea of a character who just goes around and stops like crime doing that is hilarious to me.
That is awesome.
DC definitely seems to have some, especially Batman villains too, like just some weird ones.
Yeah.
Like from the, probably I guess mostly from the old ones, like Condiment Man, and then there's the one I can't. I think yeah, and then there's one guy who just like Clock Master or something like that, who just has like a perfect.
Oh yeah.
He just knows time like to the second, like really
He
well or
showed-
something. I can't remember.
Gotham, I think.
Hmm.
Or no, was it Gotham or Arrow?
I don't know.
It's one
And
of the
then
two.
Kite Man. Yeah.
Wow.
Kite Man. Who just like has a kite and steals things, or like rides a kite, or like on his back and steals things. They actually, and then one of the newer Batman arcs turned him into a tragic character.
Oh,
It's pretty interesting what they did with him. But yeah, Kite Man.
He's the comic version of
Yeah.
Fan Man.
Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I was thinking of it's gonna say Silver Samurai, but that would be too predictable.
Yeah, that would be.
I think the only other character that I feel it isn't actually all that mainstream that I just really enjoy, and I learned about him from I actually found out about him from what was it, Marvel vs. Capcom 3? Is
MODOK?
no, not MODOK. Oh, God, no. Is the Urshigoth, the alien creature?
Oh yeah, the Cthulhu-looking thing.
Yeah, the Cthulhu-looking one. I just really liked him as a character. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And that kind of gave me like introduced me to like all these other creatures in there. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." But yeah, hands down the Heckler. I just love the idea of this character who's just going around and insulting everything that you're attempting to do. You spend all this time creating a masterfully evil plan, and then this guy comes around and tells you your waifu is a shit. So
Yeah, he just takes big poopy on you.
he does. That's pretty much what he
Big
does.
verbal poopy.
He just verbally browbeats you until eventually you defeat yourself.
Oh my god. All right.
Your costume looks bad. You should feel bad.
He's a horror. He's got no superpowers. It's the best part. He's just got his
he's
colorful
just a guy
costume.
walking around.
and- yeah, he's
Oh,
just
does
got
he
a
actually
colorful
have?
costume.
He has an actual costume.
Yeah, he has an extra costume. Very colorful. Very yellowish. I mean, that's really it. I mean, he like. I don't know what else to say about him.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that costume.
Yeah.
He's still the DC Deadpool is what I'm thinking of.
God, it's great.
Well, that would be Slade Wilson, wouldn't it?
Well, not quite.
Yeah.
It actually,
DC Deadpool. I mean,
I do have a story to go.
Not
with this one.
personality-wise.
no, I know.
The Heckler, I didn't actually know. I didn't come across anything that told me that the Heckler existed. I was actually talking to my buddy, and I was sitting there. I was like, you know, it'd be a really funny character if there was just like a hero or a villain who just heckled like the opposition. That was all they did. They would just like stand across the street and like shout at you, and you can't really arrest them. But by God, are they annoying? And then we decided like, well, maybe this has already been done before. So we decided to hop onto the internets where everything forever is there. And that's how I found the Heckler. It was just because the random idea popped into my head. We decided, we talked about it a little bit, and then bam, we should probably see if this has actually been done before. And sure enough, DC had already done it.
One of his enemies is called Cosmic Clown.
Yeah, it's amazing. There is PC Rabid. John Doe, the generic man, is a complete blank slate.
Wow.
God.
All right, I'm gonna go with, and I haven't read any of his comics. I just know like his origin story and who he is and what he looks like, and I think he's really freaking cool, and I want to see something with him. I'm gonna go with Moon Knight.
That was one of mine.
I love Moon Knight.
I love Moon Knight.
I haven't read any of his stuff. He looks
He's like
freaking
an
cool.
insane Batman.
Yes,
Yes.
I have seen him. Isn't
More
he in
insane.
Isn't he in like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance or something? It's
He does stuff with Spider-Man a lot, I think.
Yeah, he's very low level. Like It's 2015 run, I think. It like opens and he's just talking about like because he's in New York, which has a lot of superheroes, and he's just going down the list of like importance of like
Yep.
people like with a team like call Fantastic Four for this, Avengers for this, and then he like gets to low level stuff, and he's like even Spider-Man's like B level, and like it's just like, and then it cuts, or it's you see two guys like or in cars shooting at each other, like gang or a gang guy or whatever. He's like, this is for me, the fun stuff, and then he just beats the crap out of him.
Oh, he does show up in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's where I saw him from.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's he basically has like the Egyptian moon god. He's like his avatar or something like that.
Yep.
And he like wears the god's cape and runs around and beats people up, like, and he's kind of like a
Hawkeye
vigilante
makes fun of
guy.
him for being all dressed in white, fighting in the nighttime or whatever. It's basically he just imposes so much fear on the people he fights that they just couldn't even hit the moon. Is like the line as it shows him like standing over someone.
He's the fist of Khonshu.
Yeah, basically spiked brass knuckles.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. He's cool.
There's a character, Taskmaster, who can copy any fighting style.
Yep.
And he hates copying Moon Knight's because Moon Knight will just take a punch instead of dodge it. Yeah.
So he has to copy the style where he just takes the punch.
Yeah.
He's like, Hawkeye can't show up, so I can just shoot a bow at people. Now I gotta deal with this guy.
Yeah, he has like split personalities. He's pretty great.
Yep, he's got the
Basically
freaking
insane.
god inside of him, and it makes him kind of batty or whatever a little bit, but not in the
He's
same
got
way.
the
that
moon
Deadpool.
copter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Moon Knight's. I think
As you guys describe him, the more and more he sounds like White Batman.
Yeah,
It's what he is,
just
basically.
more insane
I think
and less like smart. I think basically.
Yeah, I don't think he's rich or anything necessarily either. But
No.
no, how I came across him was Max Landis was talking about him on something. It might have been like a podcast or something. He was like, they were like, "What's the superhero you want to see the most get their movie?" And he's like, "Moon Knight." He's like, "I really
would
want to
be
do a
interesting.
Moon Knight movie."
No, it needs to be a Netflix because he could run around with the Defenders. and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah, totally.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, he literally does at some point.
yep. So that's mine.
Yeah.
He looks freaking cool. He's got an interesting origin story, and he just beats the crap out of people. So there you go.
Oh my God.
I want to read some of his comics eventually. I just haven't got around to it.
Yeah, I've read like his 2015 stuff, but I haven't read anything past that. Oh, there was another. I don't read much Justice League DC stuff, but another. I mean, I don't know. Depending on how you look at it, it's not necessarily obscure because the characters are, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, but it's Justice League 3000, where it's the year 3000, and they sort of cloned the superheroes of the past, but their personalities are way off. And it's just it's funny, I think, because like you have just
That'd be
Superman
interesting.
being a dick.
Have any of you read Marvel 1776 or whatever?
No.
That's really good. You should
Is that
read it.
which one's that?
It's the one where it's like the American Revolution era,
No.
and it's kind of like almost implying that it's basically like them in the past. But you kind of like don't really, you have to like put together who's who and stuff like that. It's really good. But
You know what? I just want to make a shout out here for you, Obs, because you would have liked this. One of the enemies to the Heckler is called Cut and Edge. He never actually played any comic, but he is a crusader for edgy and cynical art.
oh my god.
I feel like I found your villain.
Can I make him on Sonic Forces
Yes.
and run around
What
with Persona?
can you make?
What can't
Persona.
you make in front?
You can make some horrifying looking things on there.
God,
Kotaku has an article all about that.
it's great. I love the one with Knuckles. Where
It's just Knuckles.
Just really
You know,
shitty
here's
copy
what-
of Knuckles.
I should have just not talked about L5R. I should have just went,
You
we're
should've
going to
talked
go
about
through
that.
really bad Sonic Forces characters and have them all pop up on the screen. And that would not make for good listening.
Wow.
God.
So, oh my god. But anyways. Alright, Mel, what do you got for us?
So Halloween is coming past, but I did
It lives
find
on in
a
our
little-
hearts.
the 21.
I hear it'll
gun
come
suit.
back around.
What? No, it's a one in a lifetime thing, Mao. It's never gonna.
It's like
get back
Haley's
into faction
comment.
again.
It only happens once.
Only once. But I did find a little gem, a diamond in the rough, if you will. I found a movie called The Babysitter, which did come out, as you said, Mao, on the 13th. It's really good.
Which would have been a Friday the 13th.
It's the sequel to Clueless, right?
That is exactly what it is, Obs. You got it, buddy.
20 years later.
It's a comedy horror, and I'm gonna place comedy really in front of it, because that's really what it is. Everything has a comedic twist in some shape or form. The pacing is really well done. The story for itself is really well done. It's actually really short. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. I was surprised by that. That's pretty short nowadays. But it does everything it needs to do to build up the characters really quickly, get you introduced to them. Every single character is enjoyable, and the premise of the story is essentially there's this young kid. He gets bullied a lot, as is these kind of movies are to be. But there's this babysitter that he has, who's really smoking hot kind of thing, really into all the stuff. She's nerdy. She gets him. He just enjoys every moment he can spend with her because she just doesn't see him as that outcast, and can even work with him on a level of his interests. So it's a really good relationship that you have. And then obviously it is a horror movie, so you can guess that there's something that's going to go wrong with it. And I don't really want to spoil the story, obviously, but obviously there's stuff that changes and goes on. It's really well done. You can kind of guess from just the preview itself that she might not be a good guy. But the whole movie is so well paced. Every time there's anything that could be scary going on, it's often interrupted by something comedic in nature for whatever reason. I wish I could talk about them because it would make it way better, but I just like it's everything you see. Like there's parts like a character might do something that's like obviously clears to show they're a bad guy, but then something will change and they'll all of a sudden become human in some shape or form. And instead of being like that kind of villainous character that's kind of supposed to be almost monsterized to make it less empathetic towards them, they'll do something that's just really out of place for anybody in the middle of this situation to stop and do. And it's just wonderfully well done in that regard. Plus, it's a funny movie, so it's a great laugh.
I think movies are honestly afraid to be really fast and quick paced in some aspects, because you'll just see stuff drag on and drag on and drag on. But I think especially a horror movie really needs a quick time run, at least in my opinion.
I kind of agree with you in a sense. I feel like that might just because of what we've done with movies nowadays. I say what we've done, we've done anything with them.
We're making movies, meta.
We're making movies. We a lot of things you see in movies nowadays. There's oftentimes a lot of fast-paced action. There's not, I don't know, just the difference is that when you have the older movies, when you really look back at the older movies, there's a famous movie. I can't remember what the full name of it, but I think it's called My Dinner with Mr. Not Mr. Rogers, no. But the whole movie is quite literally two characters sitting down.
Oh, My Dinner with Andre.
Thank you. That is what it is. My Dinner with Andre is literally a movie about two characters sitting down and having dinner and just talking.
Yeah,
about
well, it's a very
lives.
meta movie.
It is. It is.
Because it's about it's someone making a movie about and they're talking about doing a movie or something. I can't remember, or the character.
Yeah. But I mean, those kind of movies, and if you go really far back to a lot of the old black and white movies and whatnot, I don't know. I think just the way the pacing is done in those, the focus on them. I mean, there's a lot of shitty ones out there. You can just, Mystery Science Theater 3000 has proven that. But I think there's just definitely a change of where the focus sometimes is placed and how it's done. Plus, as time just goes on with anything, you can see. I mean, the easiest ones to see are when you watch streamers or whatever. It's really easy to see when the streamer starts out. Episodes are generally very short. They can go up to 10 minutes. There might be something around that area, whatever. But as time goes on, their episodes just get longer. And I think that kind of same impact has happened to movies. Is that movies start out generally, I would say, at a shorter time frame, and have just continued to get longer because that's just part of the nature of it all.
Like, what's like kind of like the main premise of it exactly? Like what's like the setup to, like, what makes it like comedic but what's also makes it horror at the same time? Like, what's kind of like the situation?
Well, I mean, it's not like it's really a big surprise. The major situation is essentially that the babysitter is a part of a cult, and what her part in it is, I want to give away because it actually does delve into the story.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's a part of a cult, and you've kind of got your stereotypical characters. You've got the token jock, you've got the token black guy, you've got the token Asian chick, you have the token cheerleader, and then you have the babysitter, who I guess plays an actual. She's more expanded on than any one of them, so she doesn't really fall into the token style character. But each of the characters themselves, because they follow into those things, have their own reasons for being there and being a part of the cult.
Would you liken this to Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah, it
sort of
sounds
satire?
similar.
Yes,
satire.
I would very much liken it to the Cabin in the Woods, except it kind of through the whole movie it's immediately starts the comedy instead of Cabin in the Woods being like split off.
Yeah.
But essentially each of the characters, like, they come off as that stereotype at the beginning. Like, that is just what they are. But as you progress with the characters, you learn that they're all kind of, not only are they all there for the different reasons, but their focuses are sometimes either really silly, often very shallow for what they want to do or why they're there, or that, like, in the situation of what is happening, as jarring as it should be for an individual, like, their own problems are very small. Just to give an example, one of the scenes, you've got the characters, they just they did kill somebody else, and they're supposed to collect the blood of this person. And while one of them is getting the blood, it's coming out of the wound that they created. The other one, the other guy, he's like, he can't figure out why he's not getting anybody, and he kind of taps it, and suddenly he just gets sprayed with gore. And he's freaking out because now his clothes are ruined, and he has no, and he starts like quoting statistics of like how many people have HIV or AIDS, and like what is the statistical possibility that he might get it. He's just really upset that he got sprayed with blood after murdering somebody, and it's just that kind of silliness of each situation. And when you pair it to the big picture of what they've just done, that makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, so that seems like a scene almost out of like one of the Simon Pegg movies or something like that.
It's just, like I said, it's really well done, and I would highly recommend just seeing it, if nothing more for just the laughs it gives you.
And it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it's on Netflix. I think it's actually a Netflix exclusive. I think that was done specifically for Netflix.
It's got a 71 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's not a bad score.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's well done. It's very well done.
I like the poster a lot. The poster is very 80s.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool.
It's the preview, I mean, delves essentially like everything I've talked about. So I mean, you're gonna see it all over the place. I mean, one of my favorite lines, I think, is in one of the previews. So
I'm seeing a lot of people say it's like gory.
It is.
Like,
it's kind of hard to say. Like, it is gory, but the only really gory scenes are like I want to say there's about truly maybe 4 gory scenes altogether, like truly gory scenes. I think maybe one of them, I wouldn't say one of them is so much gory, but I don't want to define, I'm not sure like what they would define as gory, but one of them is definitely a bit brutal.
Yeah,
There's
like,
definitely that.
Like, it's no Saw, obviously.
That's not Saw. No, God, no.
Yeah.
But it definitely uses a lot of over the top. Like, there's way more blood than there should possibly be in that situation.
Sure.
There's obviously like the way something falls or plays all together is just like kind of really hard to buy into, but that's kind of the fun of it all.
Yeah, it sounds like it's done for laughs kind of thing.
It really is. I mean, it's definitely good though. And when the tension is made, there is good tension. You do feel like, oh shit, I am kind of worried about this character. Are they going to make it? But most part, you're just going to be laughing.
Yeah. It sounds right up my alley. I'll probably end up watching eventually.
I would recommend you do.
Let me
Man.
put this on my phone in my backlog of movies I'm going to watch. Oh my gosh.
It's definitely worth it.
Yep, and Lily said you guys have been watching Stranger Things.
Yeah,
So
which is really why I want to see Thor, then go see it.
And then just go, yeah, we just really want to see Stranger Things. We'll come back and watch Stranger Things.
I love Stranger Things so much.
It's really good. I'm glad you and Tets have started it, and you need to finish it so we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, we
I've
definitely
never
need to talk
seen
about
it.
Mal, you love 80s nostalgia. You have to watch Stranger Things.
I've been putting it off because I've heard it's so much 80s nostalgia, but I'm happily finding it's not too much.
It's not that bad. It has.
It's not like crazy 80s nostalgia, but it definitely hits areas it hits the right areas of the 80s that actually were good and for nostalgia, while throwing away the parts that probably weren't.
I was really worried it was going to be much more 80s cinematography than it is, because I don't like 80s cinematography.
No, it's modern cinematography, but it's definitely got, like I said, it takes everything that was good from the 80s, keeps that part, and then tosses away everything else that really wasn't all that great.
Yep. It's
Like
just.
it goes.
Yeah, and when you see it, you'll get some Stranger Things vibes. It obviously has one of the characters from.
Well, it's Stranger Things. They all kind of have a Lovecraftian vibe to them at the end of the day.
Yep.
So they definitely
Children discovering Lovecraftian things.
Anything that's Lovecraftian, I generally have a fondness for, because I love Lovecraftian. So.
Yep. So let's end this so you can go watch more Stranger Things.
Please.
And we can talk about Stranger Things.
Yes.
You've got like 10 episodes to watch. Well, more than
I
that.
do. Well, we're on episode 7 now of the first
so like
season.
10 episodes.
Oh yeah,
That's
we'll
good.
be.
10
I'm
or
telling you
11.
right now, we'll
So
be
I have
done with
16
season
more
2.
episodes.
We'll be done. I literally come home and Lily gets on. We just sit down on the couch and turn right on to Stranger Things. That's literally how our week's been going.
You and like everyone else in America, except for Mal and Tets, until now.
But I'm always behind on things, so I don't really count.
It's the crab, not of culture, or of the
Crab,
pop
no
variety
culture.
or otherwise.
I'm too busy.
I know,
I'm gonna have
being
a
busy sucks.
giant mug and every time I drink from it, on the bottom it's gonna say "Crab can't read cursive," written in cursive on the bottom of it.
if we had like an actual, we were all around each other, did like a table round discussion thing, that would have to happen.
I stole that one
Oh my God.
from Critical Role, but by God, I would do it.
It still works.
It's not fully over. They're doing one shots now. They actually got a
the
one
main
shot.
story is.
Oh yeah, the main story is.
I mean, they're coming back. Like the next campaign starts at the end of the year, or on the New Year, or
Yep.
after the New Year, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
When Xanathar comes out, which I might talk about next week, because I'm picking up my copy tomorrow. Hopefully they'll play some of the new subclasses. I'd like to see so many character options, Mal. So many.
Yeah.
Xanathar. I don't know what that is. What is that?
He's the
The
beholder.
first real splat book, basically.
Yeah.
Or what? Xanathar himself, or the book?
I don't know what it is.
Xanathar's Guide to Everything is the next D&D splat book. It has 25 new characters. It has 20.
Beholder.
He's
we
the
talked about
beholder
this
in
before. I was really confused.
yeah, he's the beholder in Waterdeep, basically, but who like kind of runs the city. But anyways, we're not. We're gonna end up doing a special 5th topic if we keep going.
Right?
Stranger Things / D&D, and they actually go hand in hand. So whatever. But anyways, this has been episode 32, Podcast 5 Rings, your source and live in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode, Podcast 5 Rings, releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud. Talking about topics day by day on YouTube with the full video releasing on Friday. Follow us on social media, twitter.com/P5R or Podcast5R, Facebook, P5R Podcast, Meta them streaming. They're still playing Divinity. I saw a tweet about that last night.
Yep, we were playing a video last night, but this Saturday we're gonna be going back to Fire Emblem Warriors. So
Fire Emblem Warriors. So
Fire Emblem Warriors.
check them out on doing that. Twitch.tv/PSO Flow. Maybe they'll play L5R again soon. After Meta gets his cards in from Amazon.
We definitely want to play more L5R. I think just the problem was that right now Lily's got frustration with the Phoenix feeling so out of place.
We'll just convert her to Glorious Lion Clan, obviously.
one day the fox and maybe Mantis will come back with their Pokemon sets, and then she'll play that again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Pokemon.
Man, the deck was fun. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, that's
it
pretty
was
much
a fun
what it
little
was.
deck. But
That was a great deck.
that was the good thing about the AG. They had lots of fun little decks that weren't like necessarily like obviously like super competitive, but it was just fun. And they sometimes had like fun little win conditions and stuff, like the Seven Thunders deck and stuff.
Shit.
But anyways, before we keep rambling, we're gonna get out of here, and Meta's gonna go watch Stranger Things and see more glorious Steve Harrington, the best character on the show.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.
Bye.